Hello to all my chiropractic friends out there. I hope this finds you doing well and kind of weathering the storm with the COVID virus. And I know that we will all come through this wonderfully. I just wanted to take an opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Robert Feldman. I'm a board certified pedorthist practicing here in the Tri County area. I've had a great experience historically working with chiropractors and believe in the chiropractic profession. We have a mobile practice, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about the practice and also tell you a little bit about how we fabricate orthotics and what other services we can bring to you to be an arrow in your quiver for your patients. So, first of all, for those of you who know what a pedorthis is, raise your hand. And I don't see too many hands being raised out there, so let me explain it to you. A pedorthist is not a podiatrist. We are healthcare professionals who specialize in the management of footwear, recommendations of footwear, modifications of footwear, of custom and prefabricated foot orthotics, which is my specialty. And we also work a bit with diabetics. Mostly my practice, though, is pretty much limited to foot orthotics, and we work with a lot of high-end athletes and, of course, people who are on their feet all day. What's interesting about our practice and why I see a relationship is that typically the chiropractic orthotic, while it has been very fruitful to your practices and does have some valuable characteristics to it, it differs greatly in the type of orthotic that a patient may get from a pedorthist like myself. What are the differences? Well, the differences are many. A pedorthist is going to take the time to meet with your patients. And just so you know, my practice is mobile, so I either come to your patient's home or I can set up hours in your office to meet with patients. So what we're going to do is take the patient through a complete, what we call Pedorthic evaluation. And I'm happy to send you via email some of the elements of the evaluation. But what that includes is, number one, of course, a gait analysis. Number two, discussion with you about what your patients are experiencing. A subjective discussion with your patients about what they're experiencing. We will do a foot evaluation where we'll monitor and take a look at the range of motion, strength in various planes of the body. And from there, we'll go on and take a look at their footwear, believe it or not. We will examine the footwear for signs of wear. Is the shoe appropriate for that person's foot? For example, a person with a very high arched foot is not a great candidate for a motion control shoe or for a heavy pronator. So we will look at the patient's shoes and make recommendations and of course look for wear patterns. In many cases we can also make modifications to those shoes. We then talk to the patient based upon our evaluation of their foot, their gait, and other complaints, and we will then discuss with you and with the patient what type of an orthotic we can make. And that's kind of where our solution might differ a little bit from the traditional chiropractic solution. I know there is a product that most or many chiropractors use, and it's great. And I know it serves the purpose of giving the patient better stability on the ground surface as a attenuate shock. A pedorthis looks more towards putting the foot in its proper position. That may or may not be subtalar or neutral. It all depends on the type of foot, if it's a rigid pes cavus foot or a very flexible pes planus foot. But our goal is to really provide support at the bottom block, which could include deep heel cupping. It could include skives laterally and medially. It can include metatarsal pads. It will include, in most cases, a very close reflection of the patient's anatomical arch. So there is a very big difference between a traditional chiropractic orthotic in many cases, not all cases, and some of the things that we do. I think what really differentiates Own 2 Feet is the fact that A, we've been doing it for 15 years. B, we actually are one-on-one with your patients and then actually fabricate the orthotic. So unlike going to a lab, we are going to see your patients, make a determination as to what types of materials, make recommendations to the shoe, and then we're going to make the orthotic for your patients. We are then going to come back either to your office or to the patient's home, and we are going to fit them properly and then follow them for you. So those are the primary differences. We have 3 different ways of fabricating orthotics, and it's very interesting. One way is handcrafted, where we'll use a foam box. And the handcrafted orthotics are typically done by myself or my staff. I am a big advocate of handcrafted orthotics because I can truly do what I need to do, and because I've had the patient's foot in my hand. So that's probably about 25 to 30% of the orthotics we do. They're truly custom, and actually, believe it or not, have more precision than a digital or 3D orthotic. That said, for feet that are just uncomfortable or their basic pathologies such as plantar fasciitis, metatarsalgia, some knee pain, so on and so forth, sciatica, we also have 2 different ways of fabricating. The first way is through a digital milling, where we will take a scan of the patient's foot, send it to a digital milling machine, and they will get back an orthotic with the appropriate material, and that typically takes 7 to 10 days. The last method, or third method I guess it is a 3D printing method, where we will actually examine the patient, we will take a scan of the patient, and then we will 3D print the orthotic, and the patient will have it back in about 3 days. So those are the different aspects of my practice. It's very exciting, and our patients love it, our referring doctors love it, because we really truly take the time versus just being a lab mill, and our patients really kind of respect that. My other objective is, as I try to build my practice, as I indicated, I have been practicing Pedorthics for 15 years and have started a newer practice here in South Florida, although I do have hundreds of patients, is to establish and forge relationships with chiropractors, whether that be some sort of loose partnership collaboration, utilization of space so that we can work together and work as a unit to reduce your costs and again provide additional revenue to your practice and another service to your patients. That said, I wanted to just get the opportunity to introduce myself. It's very exciting. I think if we have the opportunity to have a quick conversation over lunch, or I stop by your practice, I can show you some of my work, how we do it, and talk about any possible next steps. Feel free to call me at any time at 954-773-4850, and there will also be at the end of this video an email address, and you can go to our website, which I'll tell you now also, which is www.own2feet, OWN, the number 2, feet, like what you walk on, .care, not .com. And that'll give you some more information about our practice. Chiropractors, again, are very interesting to me, and I really believe that we can work closely together. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and I look forward to really ramping up once all this, this perfect storm, I guess we call it, flies by us, which it will. Thanks so much, and the best. Bye.